Yeah, the question is Detroit is getting better for who and why?
A few years ago, a unified Detroit was where I called home. So did many others, until we were living atop one another. Finding the past is not unusual. The past is never where you think you left it. A lot has happened since these tapes. Always wondered what it was like before the divide. Before there was nothing to share. The one they said did not exist. Said to have built Detroit from the ashes of the first fire. He spoke of the past. He spoke of the homes of the 2000s.
Socioeconomic status. I don't see opportunities or events that are speaking to people such as I who grew up in impoverished neighborhoods. I see development downtown and I see sky rises that cost $1,600 a month, but I see like my mom at home struggling to pay like property taxes of $100. So I don't see Midtown as representative of the Detroit I knew. So. When I envision the change in Detroit, I see it as a collaborative process between current inhabitants and people who want to live in Detroit, but I see it more so, I see Detroit more so as a commodity for those who can afford it. I see it as residents who have lived there for years being pushed out and being left out of the conversation.
Mayor Crow proposed a sanction. Divide the classes. Up with the red wall. Up with the red wall. It wasn't easy. When companies make deals behind closed doors, anything's possible.
And yeah, in some situations, I see the new housing where we used to live, and downtown I almost don't know it anymore.
As the past, so is the present. What existed before the red wall? A community existing before. Even though we've been separated, the prices still rise on our side. The wall gets a little closer every day. Rent gets a little higher every day. Rented space in a rented body that is not your home. We were forced out of the city, with nowhere to go but beyond.
I'm noticing what they're calling Project Green Light. So they have these cameras and like a flashing green light set up at certain gas stations and restaurants like McDonald's and liquor stores. And so it's supposed to lower crime, but also what it does, it can set up and lead to certain people being targeted and criminalized for things that we shouldn't look at as crimes. People also minding their own business and living a life, you know, and now everything's on camera, you know, which honestly, us living our life is just our own ways of surviving and being innovative to make it, you know, and to live. So, I don't know. It's certain things that I think that can lead to definitely, again, criminalizing people for things that, A, shouldn't be looked at as problems. You know, I just think that there are certain people, this brings me to the word decolonize, because how we look at it, there are some things that we do rooted in survival, some things we do rooted in culture and just being Black and minding our business, and things that we share amongst the culture with other people that we don't expect people to understand. And yeah, so it's about who's looking at you and why, and how they're perceiving what you're doing, and are they asking, why, you do what you do, if it's something that they feel like creates or breeds crime.
I found these tapes from the past, clues of what home could be. Maybe this community still exists beyond these walls. If we can't be here without a struggle, I'll find home beyond these walls. Some things weren't meant to be found on the outside. Homes taken, homes of past, not remembered, and futures shattered. What is a home if you cannot find another? Or did we ever have one? Looking at these tapes.
And it's not that anybody in Detroit has an issue with other people coming in. It's how they're coming in and what they're doing when they're here. And how the people who already were here are not being listened to, voices not considered.